Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to another video in my year in review series of videos that I have been posting throughout December. This time around I will be talking about best or my favorite standalones that I have read this year. Now, funnily, or well, not really, I have not read many of those because the majority of the books were trilogies or parts of a series, and you know, which is I think pretty realistic given the trend in the publishing right now. But I did find a few standalones that I read and really liked, and I will talk about them in this video. First book that I want to talk about is Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is a murder mystery, horror, slightly paranormal type of book. It deals with the murder of Ashley Cordova, who is the daughter of this well-renowned movie director, and at the beginning of the book, we meet this reporter who has dealt with Cordova before. He actually wanted to write an expose about the guy, but then sort of things didn't turn out the way he planned it. He lost his job, he lost his wife, and his life became a mess. But now that Ashley is dead by apparent suicide, he is really trying to dig into the story and figure out why she did it, what actually happened. And he's joined by two, well, a girl and a boy, and together they try to solve the mystery of her murder or death. And it was an interesting book. It sort of dragged at the beginning, but later on it picked up and I really enjoyed it. At points I was not entirely sure if it's going to skip a genre or something like that, and all in all I really enjoyed it. The end for me was sort of open-ended because there are, well, you know, I am not entirely sure that what the book claims happened, so maybe I'm alone in that, I'm not entirely sure. But all in all, I enjoyed it. It was not my favorite book, but it was definitely worth reading. Then we have My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This is a great summer contemporary read that tells the story of Samantha, who lives with her mother and sister, and her mother is a bit of a, well, snob, and she's really a hard woman to live with, I think. She has all these crazy rules, and one thing that she really doesn't like is the family living next door to them. She considers them to be totally chaotic and messy, and some of that is true. They have like 10 kids or something like that, and naturally they're loud and really, well, there's always something happening over there. And Samantha actually never got a chance to meet them, despite the fact that they have been living, you know, next door to each other for years. But now she's 17 and her mother is focusing on her career, so during the summer she has a bit of, you know, more time on her hands, and she does get to meet them, and she just falls in love with the family. As did I, because they were just a joy to read about, and I really kind of recommend this book more. And I'm really happy that I finally picked it up because I have been seeing it for years, but I never decided to do it until this year. And then we have Golden Boy by Abigail Tartling. This book deals with Max, who is intersex. He identifies as male, but he has both male and female sexual organs. And he's 16 now, and this issue has never been dealt with before. Even he himself has never really considered it all that much, but now a certain thing happens and he is forced to deal with it, as are his parents. And it was a really interesting read. I thought it was fairly well done and I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a topic that I have been unfamiliar with, and I think this is a great book to, you know, familiarize yourself with it, and I do recommend it. This year I discovered Elle Kennedy, who is a new adult author, and I actually read two of her books. One is The Deal and the other is The Score. They're part of the Off-Campus series, which, so, you know, I guess they're not completely standalones, but you can actually treat them as such. It's not a problem. They deal with this university hockey team, actually four of their members of that team, I guess, and they were really enjoyable. I have a video review of these two books up, and I will be linking it because, you know, I do not want this video to be too long, but they were really enjoyable, and actually one of my favorite new adult books. yeah, I don't really enjoy them as much as I enjoyed these two. Then I read More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, which tells the story of Aaron, who lives with his mother and brother. His father has passed away recently. Actually, he killed himself, and Aaron's having a hard time dealing with that. And he's trying his hardest to make his life as normal as he can, but he definitely has issues that have not been resolved. He has a girlfriend that he likes, but when she goes away for a few weeks in the summer, he starts spending a lot of time with Thomas, this guy that he met, and well, he gets a bit confused with his feelings, and it sort of becomes a mess. And I'm not gonna go too deeply into the story because it's a really interesting one, and it's definitely a story that it's hard to describe because things happen that you definitely do not expect to happen, and it just takes you in a really interesting direction. It also deals with you know, an interesting topic that I cannot speak to you about because spoilers, damn it. So yeah, I mean, I really just read it and see for yourself what I'm talking about. It was an enjoyable read. There were parts of it that I really had a hard time connecting with. I definitely feel that people around Aaron should have acted differently and not, well, allowed him to do what he did, because I don't think that's ever a solution. But aside from that, it was a really interesting experience reading-wise, and I see why people like it so much. And my favorite standalone of this year is definitely Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. I cannot believe that it took me so long to read this book. I've had it for a while and I never picked it up for some reason. And you know, people have been talking about it and raving about it for a while, and I finally picked it up and I just loved it. It's sort of a romance novel. We have Simon, who is a gay boy. He's not out, but he's fairly certain that you know, when he comes out, his family and friends will be perfectly okay with that. He knows that, you know, some of his peers will, you know, cause him problems, but he's prepared for that. But you know, he is corresponding with Blue, who is this gay boy that goes to the same school as he does, but they do not know each other. They do not know each other's identities, and Blue is a bit more reluctant to come out, so Simon is you know, waiting to see what happens. And then one of his classmates stumbles across Simon and Blue's correspondence and basically blackmails Simon into you know, trying to get him a date with his girl, and Simon is not pleased about that at all, and naturally things happen, and you have to read to see what happens, but I really enjoyed it. It deals with a really serious topic, but it does it in a light way, so it's really enjoyable to read. And I loved Simon, I loved his friends, I loved Blue, I loved their correspondence, and it was really a great book. And as I mentioned in my wrap-up, I will be getting you know, a print version of it as soon as I can, and I'm just so happy that I read this book, and I cannot recommend it more honestly. Those were all the standalones that I wanted to talk to you about in this video. Let me know down in the comments what some of your favorite standalones of this year were. You know, I feel that among all of these trilogies and series, I sometimes overlook standalones, and they can be just as good as, you know, those books. And I think a lot of the times they're actually harder to write because you have, you know, less pages to actually put a great story into, I guess. Anyways, thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye.